Right, welcome to another edition of the O'Connor Angle. We're at a lake that we've never actually been to. It's a lake that was once called Myth's Pool. Some of you might know it. It is under new ownership now from Nick, who I believe runs Crow's Heath. It could be a lake called Crow's Nest or something like that in the future.
Yeah, it's a Crow's Nest, isn't it?
Like I say, it's been put in a bit of deep end here, but good old cameraman came up trumps with this one, so got Mike to thank for this one. But yeah, what's your views on the lake?
Yeah, it looks lovely. It looks lovely. Obviously, the water level's well down, which I suppose you've got to expect with the sort of heat we've been having lately. Quite a bit of weed out there. They've done a lot of work clearing, I would think, nearly a quarter to half of the lake of weed. But we fished in weed before, haven't we? So
Well, it's just like one of our syndicate lakes. It was, it was waterball weed. I mean, to be fair, it's weedy. Let's get that straight. I mean, like time this is all open, sorry, and you guys get here, I would think there probably ain't going to be a drop of weed in here. But yeah, it's nothing compared to what our syndicate lake was, isn't it? But it is weedy, I will say that.
they've got big plans for it. They're going to clear it out, hopefully dig it a bit deeper, line it with clay, stuff like that. The new owner's going to invest quite a bit of money, so
Yeah.
they said we could come down and give it a test fish. Really, we're in the unknown here, aren't we?
Well, we are. Like you say, it is a test fish. To be fair, we don't know how many are left in here. Like I say, it is. It's one of those, isn't it? It's you know, we could catch one, you could catch 10, then again we could blank. You know, it's. But I've seen a few. I've seen about 8 or 9, so I know they're definitely left in here. But like I say, time you guys coming out, I know they're going to be a restocking program, etc. There's going to be big things happening over here. But yeah, this is more of an experimental test. So. Let's hope we get lucky and get one, but you know, I mean, we couldn't have picked. I don't know. I think it's a curse from Mike. I think, isn't it? Last time he come with us, it didn't stop raining.
Yeah.
And now he's come with us. It's 33 degrees heat. So
Next time we're just going to borrow his gear.
yeah, I think so. If we blame, just going to blame Mike. But no, we are up against it. It's going to be red hot today. It's going to be 33, 34 degrees. But tomorrow, hopefully, it's going to be a bit lower in the 20s, isn't it?
Yeah, still on low.
But I think if we do get a bite, it's going to be that evening, night, early morning period. But all the rods are out, so we'll go from there. And hopefully, next time I see you, we might be holding a carp.
Hopefully.
Right, just a bit of an update. We're on the Friday evening, and like I say, it won't be long until nightfall now. But nothing's really happened today. I mean, I must admit the weather has been absolutely scorchio, hasn't it? I mean,
36 degrees it's been.
36 degrees. So it's been hard work today. It really has. But the one good thing about it is we've been able to, where it's shallow, we've been able to wade the baits out, etc. So. I would say all the rods are on banging spots, etc. We have seen a few this evening. How many have we seen now?
5 or 6 this evening.
About 5 or 6.
In all 3 swims.
Right. Okay.
So, you know, we're hopeful.
Yeah. Like I say, I think one of them will go. It's getting to that period now when it should be bite time. But like I say, we don't know how many fish are actually left in this lake. But we have seen a few. But but hopefully. As you can see behind us, the weather front is starting to come in. We've had a bit of rain, bit of wind. And,
got a storm coming tonight.
And if you can see behind us as well, the amount of weed that we've got to contend with as well. So but yeah, I'm confident one will go, and we'll come back to you in the morning, etc. But while we're rolling and that, I don't know if you watched the October. I think it was October or September one when we went to. It was the Road Lake, wasn't it?
Yeah, Martin.
And remember, we've got a new dog called Ted, and I think he was probably about that big when you last see him. There he is now. He's gone off the pellets now, he's on the boilies now. You can tell him, look, he's getting into an adult now, but nah, year old, look at the size of him. And there you go, isn't you, Ted? Hey? Loves it. But yeah, we'll give you an update in the morning. Hopefully we'll get one tonight. But if not, we'll, like I say, we'll see you in the morning, and then we'll go through rigs and bait, etc. with you then. Right, bit of a morning update. Basically, it was a bit quiet last night, wasn't it?
Yeah. Had a good sleep, nothing else.
Yeah, that's what I did as well. I crashed out, I think it was about 10. I actually didn't wake up till about 5, so... but no, I was up at 7. I rolled over at 5 and I got up at 7. And I did see one. And it was quite weird, actually, because it kept circling over the hole that I was fishing
Yeah, I
in
see
the
it.
weed.
Yeah.
And the bloke the other side, he see it as well. And I don't know if he was just sussing it out or what. I don't know. I'm really confident of getting a take on that. And so going on to plan B now. But yeah, I was confident that we were going to get one.
Well, the
last
weather
night.
broke, didn't it, last night? And we had a bit of rain and temperature dropped drastically. So we thought we might catch, but we didn't, unfortunately.
Well, we're going on to plan B now. And basically what that means is if you can't beat them, join them. So you'll be joining me out in the lake. I mean, it's only roughly, what, 2.5 to 3 foot where we're fishing.
Yeah.
And with the weed and that, we're putting the baits in by hand. So you'll be joining me out in the middle of the lake, putting a lead in by hand on the bait. And I shall see you then. Right, you're joining me out in the lake. Like I said, can't beat them, join them. Basically, we're going to be sticking this kebab as such right on their dining room table. So come and join me in the weed. Right, welcome to my humble abode, as I would say. As you can see, all the weed around me, like I say, it's only coming up to just over my waist. But we are going to drop this right on here, and I mean it is rock hard. This is obviously a cleaning spot, a feeding spot for the fish. And basically, I'm going to put this right in their dining room table. So, move some of that out of the way. Check, make sure it's nice and clear still. And yep, looks good down here. Move some of that weed. Right, here we go. And all I'm going to do is just push the lead in. That's it. Push the lead actually into the, it's like a clay bottom there, because we've got swans here and that, and they're going to drift over the weed. I don't want them to move the lead. So just a little trick for you. If you do this, push it right in. So basically a 3-ounce lead becomes valued like a 10-ounce lead. So right, that's all in place. Some bait now. Got a bit of emp, coal, chopped boilie, some maggots. Just going to ladle it all in now. Lovely. Happy with that, yeah? Lovely, that is rod 1. Now I'm going to repeat the process with the other 2. But basically you can see what we're up against now, so I think if we hook one, looks like I'm going swimming to go and get it as well.
Right, it's Sunday morning. Do a bit of an update. Unfortunately, I lost one this morning. It powered off. It felt like a good fish, but the hook didn't hold and off he went. We've had nothing through the night, have we?
Yeah, it's just unfortunate. I mean, starting from yesterday, really. I mean, the trip has been like a bit of a disaster, really. Unfortunately, I've broke me 10 pest. That's ended up being busted. It's been one of those from start to finish, unfortunately. I mean, I've really enjoyed it here, but like yesterday, there was a bit of light at the end of the tunnel. Arsenal won the FA Cup, so I won a bet as well, which was good. We thought, oh yeah, here we go, it's starting to pick up. During the night it was very quiet, nothing at all. We see a couple of fish in the evening, didn't we? And I always thought that Dad might nick a bite where he is. You know, they seem to have, like I say, we don't know how many are in here at the moment, and this is the problem. You know, we could be fishing for 10 carp, it could be 20 carp, I don't know. I've seen probably about 10 or 12 fish, would you agree with that?
Yeah.
And basically, like I say, very quiet in the night, and then, to be fair, dog's had me up since 5 o'clock this morning, keeps barking at everything that's moving. And I got up at 7, I literally just got on the end of my bed chair, and Dad's rod has just burst into life. I just see the fish powering across the surface of the lake. Played it, what, a couple of minutes, wasn't it? Weren't even that, was it? I was going to get ready to jump in the drink and go after her, and unfortunately the hook pulled, and it just caps it off, really. And I was absolutely gutted, really, because like I say, we don't know how many fish are in here. I mean, by the time you guys get on here, there ain't going to be probably one drop of weed in here. The water level's going to be right up, and it's going to be restocked. I mean, Nick and his team have got big plans for this lake, haven't they?
That's right, yeah, and it looks good.
It's going to be a total different lake when it's officially open. But at the moment, obviously where the previous owner didn't get all the fish out, we don't know what's in here, you know. And I mean, there could be a 40 in here, it could be just 10 pounders, I don't know. But you know, I've certainly seen 20s about. But yeah, to lose that one was. We knew we'd only probably get one bite in it this weekend. We've been thrown in the deep end as such, and yeah, to get a bite from a lake that hasn't got many carp in it at the moment, and to lose it was
swans were on the bite.
Was gutting. About right, yeah. Them things have been a pain in the backside, but it's all part of it, unfortunately. Do you know what I mean? It's because the water level's down. There's swans here. He's diving on me now. But yeah, it's been one of those, unfortunately. But I've really enjoyed it. It's a total different ball game, this fishing. I mean,
yeah, I've enjoyed it. I'd like to come back. We'll have to have a chat with Nick, see if we can come back and just try and fish it for him to see what's in it. I'd like to catch a few and catalogue it for him until such time as they do the work on here.
Exactly. I mean, it's going to be a lot. Once it's all done, it's going to be brilliant. But yeah, just losing that one was, even if it was £10, like, you know, it's just a mystery of it, isn't it? You know, you don't know what's in here, and but there we go. But we've tried. There's a couple of hours left of the session. But we're just going to run through a few other things and go through some bait and rigs and that with you, etc. And swim choice and what we did and that. So I think if we move on to swim choice now, we'll let you know why we picked these swims. Right, we're coming on to swim choice now, and obviously in fishing, you know, that sometimes this is where it can be won and lost. So I'm going to come to you now, Dad. I know we had the lake obviously pretty much to ourselves until yesterday, until there was a couple of anglers opposite us now. But right, where'd you start? Why'd you pick this swim?
Well, I've come through the car park and I've had a look at this swim. I'd look at about 4 swims. We did walk round, and this corner just appealed to me because there's no swims opposite.
Right.
And I thought, well, you know, I'm up on the reeds there, so I can fish over there and no one can cross me. Obviously we can't go further than halfway. Yeah. So yeah, it really appealed to me, and of course there was weed bed here and there was holes in the weed bed, so you know, I always fancy that anyway, and that's where one of the runs come from. Yeah. So that's why I picked this one. It was well, I'd say it's nearest the car park, but to me, I had a lot of water that nobody could fish in.
It is. It's quite. I mean, obviously, it's the first swim you come to from the car park, and there's a lot of untapped water down there, isn't there?
Yeah,
you know,
yeah,
I mean, I don't know if you can see right down there, but you got the reeds, obviously where the swans are, etc. And then you got this great big weed bed here. It does scream carp, doesn't it? And that's where we've seen a few of them, innit? You know, so. But that's where you had your bite roughly out here, wasn't it? In between the weed beds, and but yeah, no, I can see why you picked this one. It does look a good swim, and But the session's not over yet, mate. Let's hope
No,
we can make another
we've
one.
still got a chance. If the swans will leave us alone.
So your right hand rod, where's your right hand rod then?
The right hand rod is right down here in the corner.
Oh, what, right down this part,
not
yeah?
in the corner, but
Right.
at the end of the weed bed there. It's,
Okay.
there was a clear spot. And, you went down there and put one
Yeah,
down there for
yeah.
me. The other one is roughly where the swans are trying to feed on
He's
my bait.
basically where he's diving.
Yeah, he's trying to eat me bait.
Yeah.
And the other one was just off the weed bed. There was like a channel there.
Right, okay. And it was a left hand rod that you had to bite on, wasn't
Yeah,
it? So
yeah.
basically when we went out there, it's quite interesting when you get in. I mean, obviously a lot of lakes don't allow you to do it, and you've got to be careful of like depths of water. But on here we was allowed to do it. It's only like 3 foot, and when you go out there, it's basically in between the 2 weed beds. It's like a road that the carp have made, and they're obviously using it as to get between the 2 weed beds, and that's where you had your bite, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's right.
So, but yeah, it's not over yet, mate. Like I say, there's a few hours left.
So let's get to your swim then. Why did you pick that one?
Well, basically, obviously, there's 3 pegs in a line here, but when we got here this morning, I noticed there was, I think I see 5 or 6 straight away in front of the weed bed. Obviously, you've got 2 great big weed beds here. Dad's on one and I'm on the other one. And I thought, right, I'll go in there because that's where I see the fish. And obviously, then when we waded out, you could actually feel the areas where they'd been cleaned off by the fish, like, you know. But yeah, basically, I put 3 rods up tight against the weed. But for me, it just hasn't happened. Yesterday morning, I see 3 fish come over the top of them. And it was weird, one of them just kept circling over the spot. It was like he knew something was wrong with it. He just kept going round and round and round. And I've never seen that before. I think he knew something. I don't know whether it was a line lay or something. Something weren't right. He just kept circling. But
it's actually fizzing now, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. I'm looking at it now, it's popping up and that. So I don't know, maybe, I don't know if the swans just disturbed it though, where he went down and you know, all the liquids are coming up now. But yeah, that's the reason for picking that swim. I mean, when you got a big weed bed there and you see carp in it, it's funny enough, there's one there. I've just seen one there. So that was the reason for that. I mean, any weed bed this time of year, it just screams carp. They're not going to be far from it. And obviously, with not being many fish in here, it's you're going to get half a chance. But like I say, we've had the one bite, mate. It was just unfortunate that it came off, but we've still got a few hours left. But
such a challenge, isn't it? You know, that you want to come back. It is very difficult, but it's such a challenge that if you come back, you never know, you might catch 1 or 2. But we really want to come back and try and take up that challenge if we can, if it lets us.
Oh yeah, I'd definitely love to come back. It's definitely right up my street, especially getting in close and personal with them. You know, your hand picking your spots, you know, and there's spots that you know that the fish are fed on. So every single rod you're confident with, you know, it's not like when you go to a lot of lakes, you normally get 1 rod that's the banker and the other 2, do you know what I mean? But, like I say, every single rod is bang on, but like I say, the mystery of it is, you just don't know how many fish are in here, do you?
No,
you know,
not until they're caught or netted.
Yeah, but that's the mystery of this lake. So, but that's swim choice, and we'll go on to bait next and see what Dad caught that fish on. Right, I'm coming on to bait now, and obviously there are so many companies out there, etc. I mean, it's your choice, you use whatever you want. We use a lot of stuff from the A2 range. You know, it's caught loads of fish, won us loads of matches in the past, etc. And right, mate, so I'm going to come to you because you've had the bite.
The bite that I lost.
The famous bite, and but I want to know what you've done, because whatever you've done, I need to do by the look of it. So let's start off with the mix. What mix did you use?
Well, when you're coming to a place like this, we've never ever fished it before. We've heard stories about it, obviously when it was in its better times. We were both quite shocked when we got here how much the water level was down. So when you come to a venue like this, I would definitely take everything.
A lot of bait, a lot of different baits.
Different baits, just to test it out, really. So basically, what I did, I've got a bit of my mix left here, which is, it's got maggots in, it's got hemp, it's got pellet, and it's got good old sweet corn, which is here. And I don't know a fish that's swimming that won't pick up maggots and sweet corn. Right. So that's what I did. I put some glug in there as well. This is the glug from A2 to, which we need to get some more.
Yeah.
And obviously it was you was taking the baits out. Obviously you're going to go and talk baits later on.
Yeah.
But when you can go out and do that, and you've got a bucket with you,
Yeah.
then obviously you can just ladle it
Skies,
over.
I take it that's the hooked on baits hemp.
Yeah,
That
that's
one,
hooked on
right.
baits, yeah.
Right.
Always use hooked on baits. I mean, when you open it, it still lasts for, it'll stay fresh for 3 months.
Yeah.
They were dead maggots and obviously the sweet corn.
Right, okay.
But what I did on my hook baits, I put the hook baits on
Yeah.
and I put a stick on like that, any stick.
Right, okay, yeah. So what's that? That's chopped boilie put in a
Yeah,
blender like.
one is tooty and the other one is banoffee.
Yeah.
And what I did, I buried the hook in it because there's so much weed here
Mm.
that I buried the hook in, because even though you were dropping it on clear spots, you never know if it's going to hit
Well,
a
yeah,
bit of
exactly.
weed on the way down. And then I sprayed it with this booster spray, which works very well for me and you, and that's a banoffee spray, and that went out.
Cool.
It smells lovely,
It's
doesn't
like
it?
Hug and Dust ice cream now, isn't it?
Yeah, you want to drink it, don't you?
Good, didn't you?
But basically, putting a bag on
Yeah.
ensures your hook never gets fouled up on something. you
Well,
know.
it just keeps it away from stones from going blunt as well.
Yeah.
Not that there was many out there, I must admit, but it's always sod's law that you'll find one, isn't it?
That's
You know?
right. And this is all I did was use that.
Is that the castaway stuff?
Yeah,
isn't
that's
it?
castaway. I've got two sizes there. I used the smaller size for here because
Yeah.
obviously I wanted to keep it rammed down tight. Yeah, so I'm very pleased with what I am using as bait and castaway PVA. We've got dips here.
Yeah.
This one is, that's banoffee, isn't it?
Yeah, that
Still
one, you could just drink that.
It is, isn't it?
Oh, mate, you just drink that.
It's lovely stuff.
You could
but-
just drink that.
Sweet corn is cheap, you can buy
Yeah.
that almost anywhere. Some of these hook baits here, we had them made up special, they're hardened hook baits.
Yeah. Them ones
Where
have
you
done
got
very
lots of
well.
nuisance fish, these hardened hook baits really will come into their own. So
Well, funny enough, he's saying now is, let's see where it is. There was one of them that I use. It's this one, the 7030s. I love these ones.
Yeah.
You just got like, that's the dull pink version.
That's right.
That was the yellow one. These are ones that I've been using, but what I'm doing is actually whittling them right down with a pair of scissors, and then you just balance them up, etc. That's
Yeah.
what I've been using. So let's just have a little look closer on that. That mix there. But basically, that's the mix that Dad's been using.
he's got sweet corn
Sweet
in it.
corn in it,
Obviously you
bits
see
of
the
boiling.
maggots.
Yeah.
A lot of the pellet have now gone down to liquid. But no, that's it. And any fish will spend hours sifting.
Well, considering it's silty out there,
Yeah.
that's a very light mix. I
It
can
is,
just
isn't it, to
imagine
drop down.
when I dropped it down, I can see actually why it's probably worked a lot better
It
now.
would have spread in us as
It's
well. as
very
it's gone
light.
down.
It will land on top of the sill.
But what I tend to do is I tend to put the pellets in lastminute.com. I put every sort of liquid mix in there and all the wet mixes in there,
Yeah.
and then I put the pellet in just as I'm going to use it. And
Why
then,
do you put the pellet in?
because when the pellet, if I put the pellet in before, it would just melt down to the liquids.
Right, I see what you're
You
saying.
still
So it
got
goes
the-
to mush.
Yeah, you still
Right.
got the flavour and stuff like that. And but when you drop it out, if you just put the pellets in, the pellets will sink to the bottom there and then start to dissolve in the
Right,
bottom, which
okay.
is what I wanted really. Also, what I put in there was some tuna boilies.
Yeah, that's the new one, isn't
that's
it?
the new
that's,
bait
yeah,
from
funny enough,
A2.
that's what I put a few over my sort. Oh, right, so you had some in. That's what the brown bits are in there. Is that
Yeah, I
what's
chopped
doing?
them all up,
Right,
and
so-
I put, I don't know, I put
thought you
about.
was using something you didn't tell me. Told
Nah.
me. You know what I mean? I thought you was sneaking one over on me, you know?
No, what it was, I just thought more smell. You know, we
Yeah.
all say that, don't we?
Yeah, the more
More
smell,
smell,
the better.
and we're happy.
No,
But
no.
yeah,
So basically,
Excuse
you
me.
had that all on 3 rods. I know that mix was over 3 rods.
Yeah,
'cause I
yeah.
remember putting it out. So,
yeah.
and then the hook baits. What were the hook baits you had on then?
The hook baits was one of these
The ardent hookers.
creamy. No, it wasn't creamy toffee. It was a banoffee one.
These ones.
Yeah, that's it.
Like so basically using the dumbbell.
Yeah,
right,
and
type
I
ones.
put a bit of. This is a piece of yellow. It's a boilie, but it's made
You've
to
just
look
whittled
like a
it down.
sweet corn, and I
Yeah.
whittled it down. So I actually put a wafter on and this.
Mm-hmm.
And when you put this on, it comes to the top. So I
Right,
kept
okay.
whittling this down, this yellow bit, until it just sinks very slow.
So it was a very balanced
Yeah,
bait.
so when you
okay.
drop that bait down, it was sitting up and it just sits very softly onto
slow.
the sill.
Probably the ideal rig to use it, because like I say, it is extremely silty out there. So if you come in when it's all open and that, it's worth using balanced baits, maybe pop-ups and that, just slow sinking stuff, because it is a very, very silty lake, I will say that. But if you can find them hard spots,
Which you did.
yeah, you probably could just go the standard, bottom bait, etc. But
Yeah. But if you go to a venue, I mean, me and you do much the same. If you go to a venue that you don't know, it's always worth taking sweet corn, pellet, and maggots, if maggots are allowed. These were dead ones, they weren't live ones.
yeah.
And you should have it all covered then, and then work from that.
The other thing I'll say in there as well, with the sweet corn and maggots, there's no nuisance fish, is there?
No.
So we've been all right to
That's
use
right.
that.
That's what we were told.
Yeah.
So
But we never
okay.
we ain't had no bream or tench or
No.
roach, have we?
No.
I think they said there's a few pike in here, but other than that, that's about it,
Yeah.
isn't it? Everything else, I would say, is probably a carp in here. So I mean, hence that's why I was using a lot of the 10mm stuff. Yeah, I try and keeping it very small. No, they're not for you, mate. I know you like them, but they're not for you. It's like a lot of the 10mm.
But if you go to a venue where there is nuisance fish, it's advisable not to use maggots and sweet corn. There are venues where there's loads of nuisance fish and you still catch the carp, Farlows and Linear being two of them.
Well, yeah, exactly. But
I think them venues don't allow maggots anymore, dead or alive.
Yeah, a lot of them don't now, mate. I mean, obviously it's the pneumonia, I think, and stuff like that that's causing the problems with the maggots and that. But
The ammonia, not pneumonia.
pneumonia, that's it. There you go, ammonia.
Not pneumonia. It's
Pneumonia. There you go. So cut that bit out, actually.
Pneumonia.
Pneumonia.
Not ammonia.
Yeah, that's the one. But the I'm laughing now.
But whatever I did out there, obviously it worked on one rod.
Yeah.
Probably just luck was brought in on it, you know what I mean? But just a shame we never got it in for the camera.
I was gutted with that. I actually to watch, because I could actually see your line like going.
Yeah.
And I could just see this big V just disappearing into like the channel and then back on the weed. And I was like, yes, I'll give Mike a big shout. And he was on his way down. And then when you went, oh no, I was just like, oh.
I felt it go.
It felt like we was in a match and we needed that one fish to take the lead. We were within second all of it, and that was your opportunity.
Yeah.
And when we messed it up.
That's right, unfortunately.
But there we go. But no, I think that's about it on bait. Obviously you've got it right.
Yeah.
Obviously I didn't, and I think that's about it really. But we will be back. And,
If you go to a venue and you fish it a few times and you establish a bait there, whatever it is, it's stupid to change. I mean, I see a lot of people, they go there and they'll use a bait catch, and then next time they come, they bought a different bait. It's a wonder bait, you know. And instead of them sticking to what they know and what they caught on, they defeat themselves, really.
That's it. We see it a lot of times in fishing, don't you?
Yeah, especially in matches.
Oh, yeah. Oh, you'll be surprised what we see. But like I say, I think that's about it for bait. And like I say, keep saying it, but keep holding on for that one bite. And I think we'll do a bit on rigs now, and then we'll go from there. Right, we're coming on to the carp rigs section bit now. Obviously there are so many companies out there, etc. I'm not throwing it in your face with what I use, but I use the Deception range. Like I say, you don't have to use it, you use whatever you're confident with. You know, this show ain't about plugging stuff and that, I'm just letting you guys know what I use. So basically we're going to start off here. Basically, obviously fishing in the weed, so I've got a 22 pound main line. Now a lot of people think, oh yeah, that's really thick, but it's the thickness of 14 pound line. It's a line that I've used for absolute years. It's from Machinery, it's called Gangster line. Cast like a dream, and I know will never change. It is really, really robust, this line. When you come down, I've got the tungsten tubing. Many companies do these now. Like I said, this is the Deception one, and I like it because of the sinking purposes. As you can see, that as I let that go slack, it is really, really heavy. Like I say, many companies do them. You choose what one you want to use. Comes down, and we've got the tail rubber there on a safety clip. Like I say, this one's the Deception range. But a safety clip, to be fair, most of them do the same thing. It's up to you if you want the lead to come off. Obviously you only just put the rubber on, just nick it on, just a little bit onto the clip. Then we come down and I use one of me quick clips there so I can just hook the hook length on, and then just one of the many coated braids on the market. Like I say, me and Dad, we use a lot of the black coated braids, and I just find that one better, and when I was going out there in the water it really fitted in well with the silk, that one did. And then when you come down, there's a size 4 there. I don't mess about when it comes to hooks, I always use a size 4. Bit of shrink tube there. If you can see the shrink tube, I've actually extended the shrink tube on that as well. I find just putting a little bit more instead of just a little kick up, the hook holds a lot better with this. Comes further down, just move that out of the way. Come further down, you'll see there's a bit of silicone on the hook there. Always use silicone, never use rings. Like I say, I want to trap that hair exactly where in place, so I know where that bait is. Now, obviously on some of the takes, etc., what will happen is on the silicone, when it blows back, it will shoot back up, and sometimes when you wind in, if you find it like that, it could be because you've had a take and been done over. So, but sometimes it happens with impact with water, it can move as well. This is why I always use it with a bag or with a stick, and make sure you thread the whole lot back through. But yep, that's the rig for this session. Unfortunately, it didn't work for me. I mean, Dad, I believe, had a size 6 on, which obviously he was using a balance bait, but if it was me, I would have had a 4 on, but obviously he balanced it out with a 6. Now I don't know if it was because it might have been too small to hook or whatnot, but unfortunately he did lose that one. But like I say, that's the rig section there. It's a bog standard rig. The lead that I was using was just a 3-ounce square. But you can't get more simpler than that, really. It's a bog standard rig that will catch carp anywhere in the world, really. And like I say, I do normally use lead core. There's so many venues are banning it now. I've just put tubing on all my rods now. But that tungsten stuff is heavy like lead core. So if you are a lead core fan and you don't want to go to tubing, have a look at the tungsten range. Like I say, loads of companies do them, and I think you'll be quite surprised with it. But yeah, like I say, bog standard rig, take it anywhere. It'll normally do a bite on that. But like I say, on this session for me, I haven't had a touch. Dad's lost one, unfortunately, which was this morning. But I've really enjoyed myself. It's been a total different aspect of fishing, having to wade in the lake, lower the rigs in, etc. I love that fishing, up close and personal, like watching the tunnels and seeing where the fish feed. It's unbelievable. It's better than any marker float or fish finder. You know, when you put your feet down, you find them rock hard spots. But as for the show, that's the end of it now. Like I say, we only just lost one, that's it. And we'll be doing some more filming where me and Dad will be live as such, and that's when I'll see you then. Right, we've come to the end of our session now, up on what will be called the Crow's Nest, I think, in the future. It's part of the Crow's Eve fishery. We both just want to say thanks to Nick and his team, don't we?
Yeah, thanks to Nick and his team, and for letting us come here at such short notice.
Yep.
Unfortunately, it didn't pan out as we wanted it to, but we're both looking forward to coming back and having another good challenge.
Yeah, like I say, I'm looking forward to coming back here. I mean, I'd love to come back, obviously, as soon as possible. But yeah, I've had a great time. Just unfortunate one bite. Unfortunately, it come off. That's carp fishing for you, like I've said before. We're not going to be doing stuff on runs, waters. It's going to be on proper venues, etc. And this is what can happen, the walks and all. But I've enjoyed it.
I've enjoyed it.
Thanks to Mike, the cameraman. Appreciate it. Appreciate all the banter as well. Been brilliant to have you here. And you, keeping me up most of the night. So, over and out from Ted, from me.
And from him.
Ta-da.